Yeah, Jenny wasn't going to be able to be in person, so she wanted to be able to watch it, but she wasn't sure if she would be able to do it on Zoom. She said she'd watch it on Facebook. All right, so go ahead and start the meeting, the Community Relations February Committee meeting. So the first item, let's see here, we'll talk about today. First item I have on the agenda are the counter cards and business cards, just an update on that.
Yeah, they've been selected. I am not really able to take them in because they're only open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. So I emailed the PDF files to Dan and he said he was gonna take it in, but I haven't checked to see if he's done that or has plans to do it. Once they're in, he said it'd be like a week or two turnaround. I'm planning to do a standard box of business cards is 500. And those will last us like for multiple years, because they're not dated. And I'm gonna do 500 of the counter cards also, because I figure we'll use those more frequently. So even though they're only good for 2022.
Yeah.
Figure we'll use them, especially if we start going door to door.
Yep, for sure.
So it's in the works. I'll check Dan and see what his timing is. We're printing them with Pro Printing, which is you're on the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a great quote. So using up some of the budget.
Beautiful. I like it. All right.
This is on Facebook.
Okay.
Hello, Facebook.
Jenny. Hello, Jenny.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, how are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah, it said it was out on Facebook, but
Is it under it's under the community relations, right?
Greater Hilltop Area Commission.
Usually it's posted straight to
Oh,
the
there it
page.
is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the main
Got
page.
Got a much smaller house this time than last, huh?
Yep.
No Dan,
No Dan.
no Malik.
Oh, sure.
Nope.
Not yet.
Not yet. We'll see.
It says Greater
Um,
Hilltop Area Commission's network bandwidth is low.
Yes.
Okay,
Here's what it is.
no worries.
Even with what I have.
It's all
So we're just
good.
talking the counter cards. We do it from get them from Pro Printing, doing 500 of the general business cards that could be used across years, and then 500 of the counter cards that would be specific for 2022, figuring we'll pass more of those out if we go door knocking, or the next topic we want to talk about will be setting up a table at the library. We talked about that last year.
And or the farmer's market. I know they're always amenable to our elections being held there, so I figure even if we don't go every time, because we're volunteer run, but if we went like every other month, it's only in the summer.
Yeah.
And it's a relatively short time period. We have those nice backdrops.
Okay, I've got
And we have access to a tent,
Yeah.
and a table, and that's kind of what we would need. If it looks like something we want to keep doing, we could even buy a tablecloth or make it a nice thing. While we're on that, if you want to put this on for like future action items, Summer Jam West is officially happening this year.
It sure is on the board.
Victoria's on the board. I know last year we signed up for a booth.
You guys got one.
So yeah, we want to plan on that and get it on the calendar. Do you have a date for that yet?
Yes, the 7th of July.
July.
And it's a new name.
Yes, Hilltop Arts Collective.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much. Okay, well, the festival is still Summer Jam
Yeah.
was, right? Okay.
Uh-huh.
The 7th is a
What's that kind
Thursday.
of thing?
So
It's a night.
the 9th,
Uh-huh.
we could get that on our community calendar. maybe. Sorry, I know I just threw a lot of things. Over on the topic.
Okay, yeah, I think we can do that, and then we'll, let's see, so, trying to think like quarterly, if we're to do something at like the library, quarterly would be March, June, March, July.
March,
September.
July, September, December
Yeah,
ish. It's March, June.
yeah, used to
Um,
be. It was still out there.
And like the dispatch was set up inside. And that was pretty good. I mean, they're kind of like in a corner. But there's probably other options.
Okay.
And we have
So,
a contact, right? John. Chetzlaw, or Jenny.
you know, the library contact,
Yes, ma'am.
You know-
Library contact, oh, I do. Her name is, of course, you put me on the spot and I forgot, her name is slipped. Christy Clifford would be my,
Yeah, Dan emailed it to us. I just,
yeah,
it was a little while ago.
Christy Clifford is one of my contacts. She's still holding my commemorative Hilltop library card for me.
So the contact that John sent us is Jordan, Information Services Specialist. And we do have an
Okay.
email for that, so that might,
that's the-
it's JEARVIZU.
Kim Clifford, duh. I knew that. Kim Clifford is my friend over there.
So maybe put both of them down.
Yeah,
So we would want March, June. We want like August or
September,
October-ish.
December.
Yeah.
On a Saturday. At the end of the month. The end of the month usually avoids. Like would avoid market days, would avoid Highland West cleanups are usually toward the beginning of the month. I need to answer it.
It's not this door. It's not this, you hear that door, it's a different door.
I'll look it up.
They've got motion detectors on the door,
Oh,
but you'd hear this door, I mean, it would be a very loud door. Old wood doors. They got a little bit of water down here too. No bueno.
oh, really?
Yep.
Basement pantry.
Oh, we got that.
Is old homes.
Yeah.
Old buildings.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll reach out to Jordan and see if there are any times that just work already. That way we can kind of get those set up, and then how would we want to approach the full commission for this to say, what kind of, is it a drawing, is it just volunteers, how?
I think we should kind of frame it as not obligatory, but like highly encouraged. Same way we approach like elections, like this is part of the job.
Yeah, that's why they got ran for a,
Yeah.
a seat. So you gotta be involved with the community.
What we can do is I'll see if they have any open dates and get the dates, and then bring it up at the next commission meeting to say, here are the dates,
We
if
can
you're
put together a
available.
Google form. And you don't pick a date, one will maybe be assigned to you.
Kind of like the
Volunteer.
committees.
Big fan of it.
I'm a big fan of it.
And it's not really that many times you have to do it, because there's, how many of us?
No, it's 15, so
Yeah, if
I
we're
mean,
there
you're
from
gonna
like 9 to 2 or something on a Saturday, or, we want to catch those people like 10 to 3, 10 to 2. And just break it up into 2 shifts, 2 people,
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna serve that.
do
often.
one of them, and then like, one market shift. And then reaching out to the market director as well.
Who is on the Hilltop Arts Collective?
What's her name? What's her name?
Yes, we can put.
And when you're talking the market, you're talking about
Huh?
Jillian,
Highland Gardens, right? Or which market are you talking about?
We're talking about Westgate Farmers Market. So last year we
Okay.
mentioned, coming up with places where we could set up a booth to get the word out, and one being the
Right.
library, one being the Westgate Market.
I just set the alarm.
Oh,
so, I think that was making any noises.
Because I'll sign up for the Westgate ones.
Board chair. She's the board chair. I don't know who runs that.
of the market,
Yeah.
probably a good contact.
Oh,
Yeah, Christine, I can talk to her.
Be awesome.
Yeah.
Just like a couple times over the summer, definitely not every time,
Mhm.
but.
No, because they do it.
And that would be a good thing to do, in addition to commissioners, like a general volunteer call. Like, we have a lot of people who tune into meetings all the time, who might want to help staff a booth.
Well,
Especially-
if we do a big door-to-door campaign, we could totally request the same people that say that they never see commissioners in their area of the neighborhood. Ask them to help us pass out flyers in their neighborhood.
Yeah, we put together those volunteer calls last year that each committee put together.
Mhm.
That was mostly about like sitting on committees, but I think it would be good to do a general volunteer call.
I agree.
That we could like put together a Google form and post it to our Facebook page, with like a few different options, like what volunteer opportunities are you interested? Are you interested in sitting on a committee? Are you interested in, helping man a booth? Are you interested in running elections?
I think you froze. Uh-oh. I can neither hear nor see you guys. My Wi-Fi may be awful here. I'm not sure. Hmm. Oh, got the picture.
My little phone was taking up some of the picture.
Pulling down too much internet.
Sorry.
That's the problem. I don't know, just the nature of the beast. I'm sure it's they're streaming too. Potentially, yeah.
So the farmers markets usually start in May. If I'm remembering correctly, usually May to October.
Yeah.
May or
You
June.
know, I did the.
And they're always the first and third Saturdays. So like for those couple of summer months, it'd be nice if we did, if it came out to like one booth a month, just for like May through August, if we did, you know, one at the library, one at the farmer's market, one at Highland West, maybe another one at the farmer's market.
Give me one location a month.
Yeah, just so, I mean, you know, people would do stuff in the summer, don't want to
Yeah, so if it's so, we're talking about how many locations? 4?
3 locations and maybe do like one of them as a duplicate, like maybe do the farmer's market twice. Or maybe do. Another option would be like the Third Way Cafe, they do, was it the first Saturday of the month? First Sunday of the month, they do a brunch, like an arts brunch. I don't know if they're still gonna do it if 3060 is not there anymore
Yeah.
though. That might be another reach out to Tim and see if like the day that they do a brunch, we just have like an outside table or take over one of their tables inside. Now we were like bopping around a little bit more.
You know, the Westgate Lodge breakfasts are a good place to have flyers available too.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. Like we'll have the flyers, we can give those to anyone. But
Okay.
it's like, where do we want to put a physical human?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Where's something, we want like the YMCA,
Or even the rec center,
the Westgate Rec Center.
all of them on the west side. I mean, somebody can do
Yeah,
it.
it'd be nice to go a little farther west.
Yeah, I think we need to just make sure that we have
covering
all
it.
pieces and parts covered,
Well,
you know?
I would say
Is there a rec center at Wilson Road Park?
No, but there's,
Right.
it's just a,
It's just a shelter house. Not even,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
an
a
open
like a
shelter,
pavilion.
yeah.
but there's, how many recs, I mean, the recreation and the committee that looks at all the parks, they know the recs, there's like 4, I think, on the west side,
Yeah,
in
they're
our area.
very concentrated. They're Glenwood, Holton, Westgate. Is there a 4th one?
I think there is. I can't remember what it's called. There's one over-
Well, we could get
Overall
a couple on the
valid deal.
calendar and then try to find
Just,
it.
yeah, even just like 2 that's the furthest away.
Yeah.
Maybe from each other. And then figure out what day would be best. I think a lot of kids go Saturday, so that may not be, you want to get adults.
Yeah,
So just figure out. And one of the directors of the Westgate Rec Center, she's on our board on the Summer Jam West or Hilltop High School, so I can ask.
okay,
Like, what would be good days if you want to pass something out to them?
yeah,
And maybe drop them into off Saturday, even just 1 or 2, just so we can cover our bases.
yeah. 'Cause we're not, you know, we don't need to capture people for like an hour. We just want to be able to look at a flyer and like, this is. It might be good to do some print offs. So like Highland West, the Civic Association started doing these welcome packets and they put together. Just like a, you know, they had like the community center schedules and information about how to contact city officials. So it might be kind of nice to just do some like 1-pager print offs that we could also have. And a lot of that stuff we could probably find already made for us. So in government legislation, thinking about going door to door, like having some other print offs for services, like seeing if the county auditor has any information that they could provide us, or city attorney, and just like easy flyer form that we wouldn't have to necessarily compile.
Yeah.
So just having some of that information on hand. We're already setting up a table and we only have like little flyers. We've got the space for it. But does the Google Doc sound good for just like general volunteer calls? And then we would have a separate one for specific dates for commissioners?
Yeah, I think that's, yeah, so two different things. So if you had a Google form, we could put it on the website. That could be a general thing as a, if you wanted to sign up for emails, like whatever we could do.
That would just capture names and emails for anyone who wants to volunteer or even just be on the mailing
It would
list.
be, yeah, do you want to be on the mailing list? Yes, no, here's an email. Would you like to be a volunteer or something? Yeah, there's, just trying to think of a way we can split it out so we can have,
I'll put something together and send it.
like,
And then once we have dates locked down, we can put one together for commissioner signups.
yeah. And then, yeah, I think because it could be library and other areas too.
Yeah.
One big run. Technically is what I'm like.
And I only suggested doing quarterly at the library before we started coming up with these other dates. So we could just, like the library could be our go-to for like the spring and the winter when it's gross out. And then the other kind of quarterly spots could be youth garden,
Yeah. I kinda like that.
farmers market, one other.
I wonder if it would make sense. I'll get dates for summer as well in the library, just to get a feel in case it like rains out that day or something. If we're gonna be at the farmer's market, we could always fall back to the library.
Yeah.
Just kind of trying to think, or we just scrap it all together that day, or whatever we
Yeah.
would want to
Yeah.
do, but,
Markets are both rain or shine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they go on.
Yeah.
all right.
That's why you have a tent.
And then you didn't say July, right? Because July will be at the Summer Jam West, so you don't have to do anything in July.
Yep.
Okay. Did you have that?
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
Yes, okay, so I'll reach out to library, figure out times. March, June, September, December timeframe, or we'll cut June out completely. Completely in the library,
Yeah, June could be a good market day, market month.
and then September still at library. Or the market's still open then.
It'll still be open.
We want to try September out.
For the market? Yeah, I think so. For one of the locations, either Highland West or the market. I mean, the market will be easier to like lock down because they kind of go on rain or shine. The
Yeah.
Highland West, the Highland Weed Garden will sometimes cancel if it's gross. But we can still like be on the calendar. That's, yeah, let's pinpoint some dates and then we can ask and make sure we're on people's calendars.
So to ask for the market, what are you gonna be asking Christina?
I
You
would
want me to
ask for, okay, so
Is
Summer
she
Jam's
the-
on the 9th.
She's the new board president.
Is she the farmer or the Westgate Farmers Market or the Highland West?
What's the?
Westgate, okay.
What about June 18th? And then it'll be 3 more weeks until Summer Jam. That's probably a good. And I'll want to check with Dan on the timing of the flyers, because if we don't have those, then there's not really a big point.
Fair enough.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I'll reach out to the library. Once we get dates, we'll create a Google form. Do we have somebody from the Highland West Youth Garden to reach out to?
Yeah, I can email Shelley. Yeah. And then while we're talking about Google Forms, how's our newsletter form of that? Do we have the constant contact? Is it?
I'm
is it
working
paid
with
for?
them to get the a tax issue, tax, whatever, because it's possible that we may fit in under, they have a lower threshold pricing for like 169 for, it's 501c3s typically, but we're
A 501c4?
sort, yeah, exactly. We're kind of in that real weird realm. So I'm waiting to hear back from if we can use that pricing, and then I've sent them a form. So it's not, I'm not able to just go on and do it with the tax changes, but I'm working on that. Maybe do that.
So we want to do a newsletter for this committee or for all of?
For the whole commission, so we're looking to buy a constant contact subscription so that we can like have an actual newsletter. It's not just like an email blast. Because Dan's got the sign up list. It hasn't been updated in a long time, but he's got it, and he can just like send out like a Gmail, you know, a regular email. But this is nice because we can add in flyers if the city gives us information. We can have links to stuff. We can
Set up templates.
do all of
Push
this,
everything
all
on.
of it, do everything.
And
And then
automate to a point.
I'm asking because if I do this volunteer sign up and I have the email sign up, do I want to have different lists? Like, do I want to make?
That's what I was trying to think through on how you differentiate if people want to be reached out to for volunteer opportunities. Do people only want to be reached out to for upcoming dates, for meetings, or those kind of things?
I think. I wouldn't want to break it down by committee.
No, not necessarily committee,
But I think you
just,
could do, you know, do you want to get emails for? Yeah, volunteer opportunities, for like full commission updates. And then. I don't know, we don't.
yeah, there's really not. I mean, we
Unless-
haven't to this point done
A
things
monthly
like
news.
that, so. Yeah, it's difficult to kind of foresee what the future would be, but I think there's.
I mean, I can
basic
also just do like
categories.
all,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
don't
if you
send,
want
and then just like a little
everything.
disclaimer, like,
Yeah.
we will not email you
That's
more
what I'm-
than
We're going to
twice. a
spam
week.
the ever.
Probably realistically more than like twice a month.
Everything,
Yeah,
all the emails, yeah.
I would just do it all, and like the rest of the newsletters, like you sign up for something, you get all this
We got
stuff.
them all.
And then if you want to unsubscribe, hopefully we'll have that
I've only
option.
had one person unsubscribe. Nobody unsubscribe. Very- Very capital letters.
Okay, well.
You can get an email, I don't know.
Did you get the email list from the elections? Did that get to Dan?
Not too damn, email them.
Okay, because he's currently the controller of the list, and he has been emailing everyone about like commission agendas. So we want to make sure that he's got as many emails as possible. And once we do get the constant contact, that's an easy upload. Do we have like a timeline on that, or are they?
I
something
talked to
that's-
him late last week, and I think he'll get back to me next week, so this week.
Okay.
At some point. Yeah, I haven't gotten any phone calls today that I know of. So.
Okay.
But yes, it's the tax thing basically. With the camera, just pay the tax.
Oh, sure.
It's just, yeah, I spent too much. For me, it's cheaper to just pay it than not deal with it. So that's what I would have done in this scenario, but I'm trying to set it up. I'm hoping if we can get that one, I think it's 169 instead of 225 or whatever. So if we can get it cut back, that's an extra couple of years and we'll be able to jump on. Add on or save and spend somewhere else, but
Okay.
yes.
Check.
Usually this will
Google Doc volunteers.
Mess up all of them. They probably actually not gonna like that. I'll have to convert it. But if you can read open docs. Yes. It's dumb. Okay, so a bunch of notes here. I just sent that over to docs. Reach out to. We won't need to. Will we need to fill out a request for summer jam at some point? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that on here just to access do that later.
Is that something we can just email Danny about directly or?
We have committees now too, so
Oh.
I gotta, yeah.
Do it whatever
Because the
the
work
official way
that's
is.
is getting so big, we had to.
Just keep us in mind.
I will. You got it. We're on there.
Beautiful. Is that good for this for the time being?
I think so. I think we all have our marching orders.
Right, okay, so Victoria wanted to let us know that, I think Jenny was up. Okay. About the Hilltop Signs, Kiwanis sounded supportive, but they would need more details on the size of the sign. So we may need to venture out to one of the signs and get a feel for what the other signs size-wise are.
Yeah.
Is that big enough to see from Broad or?
Are we just getting a new sign? We're getting,
No, just putting up,
Like our logo. So like all,
Yeah,
you
like
know,
summer
when
jam.
you-
along
when
with
you
the other ones,
enter-
like with Summer Jam West and everything.
Yeah,
Well, down at the bottom of, on Broad,
both of them.
both of them.
so you know that one down there, okay,
It's rough.
yeah, they need some, that up.
So Kiwanis owns them? Do they do like pruning
No,
or?
we went through that with them for with Summer
Really?
Jam West, and it's a big, they're like, the city owns it, like, they gotta go up there, like, you
It's a-
couldn't, it's a whole thing.
Is it,
You have to get Kiwanis approval to put something on the sign, and I believe you have to typically pay Kiwanis to put something on the sign. But there's, especially the one over here on the other side of Broad, because the train tracks right there, holy cow. Like, if you wanna do anything, you gotta get CSX out, you gotta get the city out, like, so.
can we request that the city come and like prune around the signs? Is that Parks and Rec or is that?
I would 311 it, to be honest.
I'm just
Yeah.
telling you from when we tried my other
Yeah.
thing, it was a whole big thing, like, they were like, that's not our area, like, that's the city I'm talking about, and there was all these other, it was not easy to
Okay.
figure out who should do
No.
what. Then it was like, the people that own the signs need to go up there and do it, but I mean, it's so unsafe.
What may need to happen is a road crew does it.
Okay, so the
Contacted the
pieces
city
of
and stuff, right?
this,
First, what we need to do is figure out what size sign we want.
okay,
And then we need to go back to Kiwanis and say, hey, here are the dimensions that we're looking for. We think this will be visible from whatever, this is what we want. Are you guys good with it? Is there going to be a price associated with us putting it out there? I've heard that it's an annual fee. I've heard that it's a one-time. I have no idea what that's.
okay.
So we would need to figure that out, and then we would need to get the signs created. And I would assume Kiwanis would have some marching orders on how they get hung. Is it the city? Is it the, I don't know.
Just go out there with my screw gun
I'm about getting stuff done sometimes, so
and.
Just watch where you stay.
to me, if
Be
if the
careful.
owner of the
Fall on the
sign
tree.
says you can
I
hang a
know.
sign on their sign,
Yeah,
who's to tell me I can't hang a sign on the sign that the owner said?
okay.
So, yes, but yeah, steps are, we need to figure out what the next step is. That's the next step. So I can go out and actually, do you know by chance the size of the Summer Jam West sign?
I don't know that. I could find out.
Theirs is very long and skinny. Ours is be like a square.
It would be, but if I knew at least the dimensions, we could say, look, if we
Look at
half
that.
that and add it to the top,
Yeah,
kind of a thing. So it would give us a general without having to actually go out there and tape measure.
I
The
would
Summer Jam
guess.
West is
I would say
higher.
like, well, probably like 2 by 2, 2.5 by 2.5.
I think you probably need to be as close as you
I think you're
can
gonna
when you're
have to
dealing with the
Yeah.
Yeah,
other
and the-
organization.
Yeah, then the other question would be what's on it? Is it just our logo? Is it our logo with Greater Hilltop Area Commissioner added? Is Greater Hilltop Area Commissioner underneath it? I don't know.
Doesn't Greater Hilltop area,
Yeah, I'm
isn't
trying to
already on
think.
it? How do I figure out what our logo looks like?
Right?
It's,
That's built in, so we're good.
yeah, you have it.
So, yeah, so it would be like
I think just this.
it would be like a
would
3x2, something like that.
Something like that.
3x5 is the size of a typical flag. And that's
That'd be
probably too
huge.
big, yeah, so. I think 3x2.
While
would
we're
probably-
at this,
Oh, boy.
it might be worth it. I'm just saying, while we're going through the headache,
Yep.
to reach out to like WNA and the Highland West Civic Association and see if they would be interested in putting their logos on the sign. You know, if we're already making contact with the Kiwanis Club. I don't see why they'd say no, it's just more money for them. No?
I was gonna say something.
Are there-
funny, we're on working.
Yeah, be careful. Yeah, you see how easy it is for the. See how easy it is for other folks to mess up something. So we got Highland West, Westgate. Are there other communities that may want to be involved with that?
I'm trying to think of like what is normally on.
I
Like
mean,
when you enter when you enter like a new city and they have those big like metal signs, it's like the Lions Club, the Kiwanis Club, and it's some of the churches.
baseball team, Boy Scout,
But,
Girl Scout troops.
yeah. Like neighborhoods. I mean,
Civic Association.
Hilltop Tigers, maybe. They're gonna have to pay for it and like secure a sign.
So here's,
But if we're already reaching out for us, and we also said, you know, there's 3 or 4 other organizations that are interested. I guess at one point you just run out of space on the sign.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, if you get, I mean, cause I don't know that there's a whole lot of space on that sign.
We should go out and look at the sign. Probably find a picture.
no, you can't, not a good one.
Oh,
I know Danny has one.
You can go to Google and that's your best bet. 'Cause trust me, I've tried to find like a really good one that I could use for just background B-roll type stuff and it's just.
I mean, this one is,
It may work for just looking at, but for background images.
yeah, you're right, there's not a whole lot of space.
There's not.
There's, because the Summer Jam West is up there, right?
Well, yeah, that's
It's
the
like up
lower
on
one.
top.
That's the
That's,
one over
this
by
is the lower
70.
one, so there's not a lot of space. The Hilltop Lions and the Kiwanis Club.
And there may be more signs on there since then. I don't know. That's pretty, looks like it's good. It was well cleaned up.
Yeah, cause it doesn't look like that now.
Yeah, it's little. Okay, this is the one by the. This is the one by the train tracks, right?
Yes. No. No.
Yeah, this is the one by the train tracks.
Historical Society.
Yeah.
Here's.
I mean, I don't wanna offer it to other.
Yeah, that
people
is the one you're right.
If there's not actually space, you know? But it would be really cool to have our logo up there, and it would add some color. This is very brown.
Hey, at least it doesn't say Hilltop USA anymore, so that's good. Said that a couple times.
Do you have a contact with the Kiwanis Club? Are you been,
Well,
Jenny,
Pam
is
is,
Jenny there still?
Jenny is, Pam is your contact.
Mhm.
Victoria was. Communicating with Kiwanis.
Okay,
Where from?
so we gotta figure out our sizes and we gotta get back into the Kiwanis Club.
Correct.
Yeah, let's delegate that. just a little.
Who was leading that? Before?
It was Victoria.
It was Victoria Klein's idea originally, and so I think she did do some outreach.
Yeah.
So she probably knows more.
So she's probably the better contact.
Hey.
Karen, you wanna join us?
Yeah, she said, so here's her email. Electric's out, won't be able to log in. My update, it sounds like Kiwanis is supportive of the sign. We need more details like sign size, we haven't officially approved it. Pam said that one of the signs is unsafe to get to currently, so hopefully it'll be cleaned up in the spring and we'll be able to measure the space we want for the sign. Assume we would like a sign on both and it would like, and it would make the most sense to just wait and measure them together. I can follow up on this when the weather warms up.
It was bad at the one time. It's, I mean, because we all went down, I mean, it's,
Coming up from downtown.
Yeah, the one down by seven.
No.
I mean, it's.
You can't even see it, it's not looking sometimes. I mean, right now it's a little bit easier because it's no leaves, but
I'll take a look at it when I come home tomorrow and
it's
It's
rough.
I can put in a few one request.
I'll put one in.
We did.
Yeah. Maybe we should all put one.
Oh,
Every day. all day,
I
every
have,
day.
Or just-
I'll
It
put it
reminds
for
me of-
one request.
we
So
can- we can
remind
call-
me of Jamon Gentleman.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have those things.
We're getting nightmares for days.
It's one of those squeaky wheels sometimes, unfortunately, but
Yeah,
I've got a couple of squeaky. wheels
311
on
might
some
not know who controls the layout.
I would assume they
That
would
is part of
question
the
it,
problem.
especially the one by the railroad tracks. That one is gonna cause, because that intersection there at Broad and Wilson just doesn't, never get an accident there because Franklin Township, the sheriffs and Columbus Police will all fight to not.
Yeah,
take
they're
it.
like, we're not taking
That's
that.
where 3 jurisdictions meet.
They all, and nobody will
So
accept
annoying.
any responsibility there. So that sign being like right there, you're gonna have CSX, you're gonna have the city, you're gonna have Kiwanis all saying, so that may be a problem, but we'll 311 and see what they say.
And what they, I mean, and the one down on West Broad Street coming up, it's the same thing. Like, it was like, that's not ours, that's not ours. it's
Well, and it'll
not ours,
probably be
da, 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 da.
between the parks, another area within the city and then Kiwanis, because it's got those baseball fields right there, the diamonds are right there.
Well,
it's
even the
park
state,
across
so the Ohio
street.
Department of Transportation.
Oh, yeah, the state
Right.
land,
Weird,
yeah.
yeah.
It's gonna be, I'm telling you.
It's all
gonna be
live.
weird.
It's honestly all a liability issue. When somebody gets hurt there, they're gonna need to put it on somebody's insurance. They don't want going on anybody's insurance. That's exactly what it's all about. It's expensive if somebody gets hurt. Okay, so we'll have, we'll work with Victoria to push that forward.
Victoria K.
Victoria K.
Yes. Forward. Okay. All right, and so what we're actually gonna meet about.
Yes.
Oh,
And this can be real light, this needs to be built out, so it's not by any means something that we need to finish today, but I will want to start getting some kind of regulation, standards, consistency around, like the Facebook page. Messages come in, who responds? Right now, everybody with the Facebook account has full admin access to the Facebook page, because to me, that's only fair. Do I see concerns with that? Yeah, I'm a security person, so that's a concern, but
There's no standards.
correct, who am I to say you're admin, you're not? I am not that person. So if we had a standard to go by, then we would go by the standard. But we don't have that. So it's things like that, comments on Facebook, as there are comments, things like that. Who's responding to those, how quickly are responding to emails, those kind of things. Obviously, if an email goes to one person, then you respond to that email, but things like that. So, I kind of broke it down a little bit, and again, can go in all kinds of different directions, but some of the things I think we should get kind of squared away first would be around like the Facebook page. There are different levels of access that can be given in Facebook groups. So it can be, you know, editors, you can have full access, or you can delete the whole page if you want to. Yeah. Right now, everybody can delete the page if you want to. Fun fact. I don't like it, but again, there's no standard, so I'm kind of trying to
What
be
are all the
fair.
levels? What's like the lowest level?
There's like a commenter or something like that, a moderator, I think it is. And so moderator would be able to go in and respond to comments. I believe they can respond to messages as the page, but wouldn't have full access to add, remove people, or to delete the page as a whole.
Can they post?
Yes.
Since
I mean, we could
everything
do-
that matters, you can still. do.
We could set it up where it's a lowest common denominator of you can do what you need to do without having the full access to delete it. But
Yeah.
who then has that access? Is
Probably
that
the chair.
Dan, and you would need to have two people typically to resolve for a key man issue. So would that be Dan and Rachel both have that?
Rachel's just the secretary.
Oh, yeah. Dan and sorry, Jamie.
Jane. So it could be chair and vice chair. It could be chair and the community relations chair. It could be. I don't necessarily
Yeah, I don't-
care. I just don't think it should be more than a couple
Yeah,
of people.
I'm by no means a power hungry person. If somebody wants to, you can have it, but like, I just want to make sure that we have it written down who that person is. So I think it makes sense to have chair, vice chair, and probably community relations, if that's the committee that's going to be handling those kind of items moving forward. But
Yeah.
and then figure out what the next lower level would be to give everybody access. Even as admins, you can't delete another admin without another admin approving it. So I can't go in there and remove you as admin without Jenny approving it.
Yeah, I think the default should be you have the lowest level. Unless we've like written in, because the lowest level, you can still do everything that counts on a Facebook page. You can still post, you can still answer the messages.
So basically.
And something that Jenny and I have been talking about in government legislation that we kind of started last year and never finished was having like almost like an amendment to the bylaws, like an addendum. That would have all of this stuff in that, you know, maybe you don't necessarily have to submit to the city, but it's like the best practices.
Yep.
And then if any of them seem really important, you know, they could be added to the bylaws, but just having like a best practices add-on,
Like a little handbook.
basically, that could just be given out to new commissioners. You know, start of everyone's term, and it would cover. Yeah, it would cover like social media etiquette, it would cover like email etiquette, it would cover some of the, you know, like the rules that we have in the city that aren't always gone over. It would have all of like the transition guidelines.
Kind of like how the OSU does it, campus does it. Campus has a beautiful book to give a 3-ring binder. That is exactly that. Here are bylaws, here are general normalities, kind of here's our scope, that kind of stuff.
What did
It's
you guys
awesome.
think? Because I know on the day of the election, we were told we were gonna get a manual.
Yeah,
All
I don't know
the
about that.
Commissioners, I'm just saying, that's
I
what
know
was
the
told.
city has been
Oh, the
starting to
city?
do
Yeah,
more
maybe.
with like new
What
commissioner
the city-
trainings.
It wasn't the city.
I may have
Same.
promised that. I may have gotten very ambitious and promised
I
that.
don't think it was you.
A lot of things happen.
Because I definitely was not given anything.
No.
I think I was encouraged to read the bylaws.
favorable.
But it would be kind of nice. to just,
Well, it was the things you're talking about, so I'm just telling you what I
Yeah.
was told,
Really?
so that there was gonna be a manual that has the bylaws, and it would have like etiquette stuff, and some of the stuff, I'll just be honest, even for me, I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing, you know?
Yeah,
So, and you
That's
waste a
happened.
couple of months trying to figure it out, honestly.
Yeah.
So if we have it up front, that would be good.
well, there's like a few parts to that. I mean, there's some stuff that like, I don't know Robert's rules. I don't know anything about Robert's.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not even talking about those things, I'm talking about just day-to-day things that you need to know at the beginning of your term, so I would think that
Like,
in order to make sure we have everything, we should ask the new commissioners, what is it that you wish
Yeah.
you would have known?
We're going, we're doing that at work right now.
Yeah.
What is it that you wish you would
We
have
just
known?
got all the new people in a room and we're like, what did you not know that you wish you would have known?
That's what you need to do.
Yeah, and we have 4 new people, so. that'd be good. Yeah, and it could be as small as like, make a separate email, make sure you check that email, like. You know,
Yeah, like, this is how you set up your email, I mean, I was told a couple times, but it
These
still didn't
are-
click till.
like there's a lot of rules that you have.
You need to set up, you know.
Yeah, there are like disclosure rules that we have from the city. I'm not sure if that gets gone over. I don't remember. You know, like sunshine laws or like public records.
And anybody that serves in public service would know those,
Wow.
because you're bound to them too. I'm in public service.
Yeah.
I've been in a number of different arenas, so, you know, you're bound to that, so. But those are
But
things
I
that need
don't
to be in there,
Yeah, and you don't want to assume that everyone.
and I'll leave that for the new commissioners. I'll ask them,
That'd be excellent.
I was thinking maybe,
and then we can ask the old commissioners as well.
that's what I was thinking,
What
like
do you wish new
a,
commissioners knew? What do you wish you would have been told? Yeah.
well, like
Yeah, what
a
did you
a
find
Google
out?
form almost. Maybe, I don't know if that would be,
What'd you
because you
say?
would, yeah, Google form almost, but it would have to be open text essentially. not
Yeah, I
really a
just,
yes,
you
no,
know, just like
so,
set up an email.
Yeah.
chain.
I'd rather have a
Should be no
meeting and we sit here and talk about it,
Yeah.
because there'd be, I mean,
Yeah,
there'll be a
that's not
gazillion
very helpful
emails.
email. That's too complicated.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah.
just set up a meeting, I don't have a problem
go in a circle.
trying to do that, yeah, let's just get it
that's not a
done.
talking stick.
Let's have a meeting in an hour and a half, that's it. We're gonna talk about this, put it down. let's move on.
If you want to plan it around the existing committee. I can give you one of my government and legislation committees, because that would probably fall under that.
Okay,
Because we are gonna do a thorough going over of the bylaws in that
Okay.
committee also.
Mhm.
And that would be something that that committee should probably handle, you know, they're running the elections and then when the people are appointed. like, this is your information.
so honestly, you guys can run it, I was just saying I can help, okay?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
if
just-
you want the
Sure.
government legislation to do that,
I'm
I'm
just-
not on that committee, but I'd be
No,
glad
not
to.
about,
help.
not about running the meeting, just about like.
No, I'm talking about the.
Doing it, like,
I'm talking
assembling it.
the
Yeah.
logistics of it all, okay?
excellent.
So, yeah. So I can help you guys, that'd just be something.
Okay, yeah, let's add that to the agenda. Okay, what else? Social media?
Okay, so social media, so levels of access, okay. Now, the next one would be messages. So
What did you write down for the levels of access?
right now I've got admins, chair, vice chair, chair of community relations, question mark.
Yeah,
And
that makes
then-
sense to me.
But everybody else would still be able to post something.
Correct, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, but
everyone
that makes
else would
sense.
have the lowest level, I don't know what that's called, I have to go in and look and see what the lowest
It's
level of
like
access would be.
contributor or something.
Yeah, that you
Yeah.
can post messages, those kind of things, act as the page,
Yeah.
just not have all out.
So there were things on that page that I was surprised was on there.
Yes.
So-
Oh, like what?
We try and clean up sometimes,
Okay,
What? Some comments?
no. So
Posts.
What was it?
things that, advertising things,
Oh.
like, yeah.
Yeah, there's a very fine line. I feel like we really walked it this past year with like almost endorsements of
Mhm.
specific organizations and like specific events.
Hmm.
Because we are able and encouraged to share like city resources,
Mhm.
city events that are resources. If there's like a cool thing happening in our neighborhood and that can
get real hairy.
I
quickly.
think if you're involved with it personally, you probably shouldn't post it.
That
Maybe
would-
ask somebody
I-
else.
That would be a standard in my eyes, as an
Yeah.
etiquette type of a thing, where you
Yeah.
recuse yourself in certain situations and not promote. certain
Well, you wanna be
things.
beyond reproach, right? Like, you don't
Yeah.
wanna, I mean, I have a lot of things I do, but I'm not gonna post them
There's-
on.
You don't want there to be any
Facebook.
doubt.
There
was-
It calls the other 14 members into
Correct.
doubt.
There were definitely
Just don't
some
do it.
questionable items, but there were a lot of things that fell into a very strange bracket. with that.
Yeah,
There are some things that hit Facebook and I see them and I delete them immediately.
okay.
There was one individual who was notorious for doing that, because they didn't understand which page they may have been posting to, whether it's a personal or the GHAC page.
Is there a way to review, like the post when people post things? And there a way
From
you
an
can
admin, you
review?
can go
Yeah,
in.
that's what I mean, like that should be somebody's job.
Yeah. And so, again, that's a standard. So right now, everybody's admin, everybody can post whatever they want to post. So, is that something that we would turn on, a post approval, for example? If, I don't know if that's possible, I don't
I'm not
know if
sure
that
that's
makes
even a
sense that we would
capability.
need, yeah, I don't know if it's possible, I don't know if it's necessary. I don't know if you can do it where.
Or maybe
admin
just
only would
train
be-
the commission, like this is the things you wanna stay away
Yeah,
from.
I
I
think-
mean, just make it clear.
I think having a written down standard that somebody can go to, and if somebody breaks that standard, just saying, hey, reminder, here is what it
Yeah.
says, it's written down. We don't do that kind of a thing. Right
And
now,
we're
it's a
taking your
lot
admin
less.
privileges from the season.
There could be a police step.
30
I mean, if there's like a, if they do it
30
again,
day
okay.
Two strikes. you're
Right.
out.
It's a public face for the group, so
Yeah, we
we
wanted to
can't look
look,
bad. I
yeah.
mean, we don't want to
And
look.
that could even include like, don't post within like 4 hours of another post, because it'll just get drowned, like, don't post more than whatever, 3 times a day.
It must be some of the same things.
Well, and the other problem is, like, I don't even know how many Hilltop groups I'm in, but it's like one person will post the same thing, and it's like 4 or
Yeah.
5, and it hits the whole. It's like,
Yeah,
so it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but.
I think that's a good place to start, though, is to.
Okay, so standards around post frequencies, endorsements, and resources, and so that can be something that part of it, some of the etiquette aspect can be added to the document that's put together in the binder or whatever, but I think hashing some of those things out. How would we want to handle putting together like a standard on endorsements? Kind of difficult. Is it? What kind of verbiage would we have around that? What are the restrictions? Is it a nonprofit, it can be posted, or if it's a,
I think it has to be. What do you mean by endorsements? Like if we're sharing something about an organization or an event?
Yeah.
It has to be open to the entire community. It cannot be fundraising related.
Or profitable for the individual who's
Yeah.
posting.
For sure.
so that gets real questionable quickly.
Or,
It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be, but I think there's. It's questionable for me for some of the folks that are posting.
Well, we're going forward. We're making.
Yes, right, yes.
Yeah, open to the entire community, non. Yeah, it's non. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I say.
I was
You
gonna say non-
can't,
Sectarian, you mean?
you can't say that it's a non-profit, like it can't be profitable for the, because there are some events where it's gonna be profitable for whoever is throwing it, but that's not the point. Is it?
well, not profitable for the commissioner. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, cause
yeah.
that would be like me promoting my nonprofit and
Yeah,
then
see, that's-
getting, you
but see,
know
that's-
what I mean?
not
That's what I mean,
including
so,
our
like,
nonprofit, yeah.
If it
But
abides
city-
by all the other rules. But it is something that a commissioner is a part of, I mean.
See, that's where it gets weird.
Right, that's
I
what I
would say
mean,
if
over
there's,
the
if
past.
there's any money involved, like you should
Well-
just not be sharing fundraiser related items.
Yeah, you can put it elsewhere. You don't have to put it
Yeah,
on.
You can
I'm
put
not
it, you can put it
sure.
in the discussion forum, like if the Highland Youth Garden, for example, was hosting a fundraiser, like I don't work for them, I'm not on the board, like I don't have any ties technically to them. But like I wouldn't, that's like preferential, I wouldn't post,
Yeah, Highland Youth Garden shouldn't be posted on the GHAC page, I don't think.
If it's like an event that they're hosting, like they're hosting a
Come
garden
on,
market.
we're giving out free, green peppers,
I
like,
think
I mean,
that's-
that's different.
That's,
Yeah, I
that's
think
where it
that's
becomes,
absolutely
That's where it gets fuzzy though.
I
How is
was,
that
if it was like
because-
Giving Tuesday and it's like, these organizations are, like, I would not, that's not, I don't think that's appropriate. But if it's just like an event that's being hosted,
I mean, because.
that's
you know,
a
I mean,
resource that's
yeah,
available to the entire community.
I
if
suppose
it's a
so.
free resource,
Yeah,
then that's available to all in the community, then the commission could post it.
Yeah, and I think we have, and I think
Yeah, we
that's,
definitely
I think
have.
that's fine.
Okay.
No, I
If
mean,
it's a citywide resource, if it is like,
we've in the past,
just like anything that's just like generally informational.
people in the past have paid to support or to advertise for job openings and things through the GHAC.
Interesting.
Union type stuff more, so.
I was just saying I thought it was getting fuzzy because
It gets,
you would like, okay, you're letting them have that book, can my group also promote? I guess if anybody could promote, if any nonprofit could promote their event, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
anyway.
guess my thing is like, if it's, I'll just use me as an example, if I'm promoting something on there where I'm gonna benefit.
Mhm.
I don't care if it's my nonprofit, I don't care if it's like a business, I don't care if if I'm gonna gain. And I put it on because I'm an elected official, right? If I'm gonna put it on that page, I think that's inappropriate. Like, I'm never gonna do that
Right,
because I think it raises suspicion.
right.
it's, yeah,
And so I'm not gonna do that. And I think that should not happen if
Mhm.
the community has voted you in to be nonpartisan and try to,
Yeah.
do the best for the
You don't want to
community.
presume that you're using GHAC as a platform.
That's
for
right.
going
well,
forward.
that's, yeah,
That's right.
that's where it
Okay, I
becomes.
get
That's
that.
what I'm talking about.
Yes,
I don't think it's,
As long as
I
there's,
don't think it's fuzzy, honestly, but that's just me.
I think there are some posts over the past year that have been fuzzy. Even falling within the movie fuzzy.
Yeah,
I'm saying it's not fuzzy. I'm saying what I saw. I
Oh,
was like,
I know
what?
you saw. I fully
Okay, I
agree.
can't believe that.
I fully agree. I just think there's been some entangling lately that would make it fuzzy,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
Talk
if we
about that.
just went forward, we're going
yes,
forward,
Yeah.
going
right?
forward,
Yeah.
yes, I think
Yeah.
moving forward, I think we can, yeah, so I've
Look at these
got,
other areas you can post it on. I mean, it's GHAC.
oh, you can just post it,
Exactly.
post it as yourself anywhere, it doesn't matter.
Right, and your own Facebook page. too.
Post it from yourself onto the
Yeah.
Hilltop page or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I've got for like endorsements, open to entire community, for each of those who attend, not asking for money, not favorable to a commissioner.
Yeah, I guess if a commissioner runs a nonprofit, they just wouldn't be able to put their nonprofit information on the page while they're a commissioner.
I think if it's, like, if you, what's the name, Black Lotus? Because you were offering like a free yoga class to neighbors, I think that would be absolutely
It's a
acceptable.
free resource to,
But I also could put it on the Westside page and I could
You
put it
do
on
it.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do it.
right,
I would feel weird.
yep, yeah,
That's just me.
right, I think there should be.
But like if I
a
wanted to, like if I wanted, like, there's this awesome free yoga class, it's available to all neighbors, like.
Right, like that's different.
Well, just
But
making sure
me.
it's coming from you.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's coming from you.
When it's-
not from you.
When it's
Right.
posted as the commission, it's a different. feel in
Yeah.
general.
That's all I'm saying.
Yep, I agree. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so I think one of the more, like, the important one that we really need to get to is messages. As messages come into the page, who responds? How quickly should a response go out? Kind of how should that be handled? Is
Who
that
does it
something that?
now? Everybody?
Whoever sees it.
Exactly,
Okay.
and so like, the other day, I saw one that was asked for us to share one of the city's posts. And so I immediately shared it and then went back in the message and said, done. And when I said that, somebody else had said, yes, I'll go ahead and post it. And then they posted too, so I went and deleted mine real quick, so there's
Okay.
just only one post, but that's the kind of, there should be somebody who's designated to it. maybe it's me, maybe it's Dan, maybe whoever, I don't care who it is, but there should be a standard of somebody will respond within 24 hours. And then if anybody else that has access sees it and sees that it hasn't been responded to within 24 hours, have at it, like, or I just don't know what that, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that rule. I don't know where it sits.
I don't want to give it to the chair. I think it would make sense for you to be, yeah, community relations, which I know. Especially if that person is already the page admin, I think it would make sense for the secretary to have that job. I think there can be a few, you know,
Yeah,
there's
That makes sense.
Yep.
there's 15 of us. You know, if the community relations chair is already just on the page naturally anyway, moderating or checking posts, you know, to go in and check Facebook messages every day or two.
Well, that should probably be right now, I just checked it. On
Yeah.
Facebook all the time, so it's whatever, but there should probably be a standard that it should be reviewed every 48 hours,
Yeah.
24 hours,
Yeah.
whatever.
I think the community relations chairs and the commission secretary would probably be, yeah. And other people can reply if they notice it's been more than 48 hours.
And if they actually know the answer.
And if they actually.
Wait a minute.
I would be like,
Don't
I'm
put
not
that kind
touching
of
that, I don't know
stipulation in
that.
But maybe at that point, it's if you don't know, message somebody else and be like, hey,
Don't just
I
leave
see,
it.
exactly.
Yeah, no.
Don't
Because
just
they
leave it
will-
red.
They will see that it's red and then it just won't go.
No, I mean, you would notify somebody, but.
Yeah.
just wouldn't. And then what about the comments during the commission meeting? 'Cause I know sometimes I have my Facebook on.
Oh, yeah, I checked it.
Did you check?
Yeah,
It's
it's a bit more of a pain than it was now, with Restream or doing it through Restream instead of, right to Facebook. Because I can't see the profile. There was a pane within Restream where I could see any comments that were coming in from YouTube or Facebook all together combined, and I could respond right there. Doing it through Zoom, I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
So it does make it, yes. All that to say, yes, somebody needs to be monitoring.
Yeah.
Would that be distracting to commission members, be trying to keep track of
It's
Facebook
very
comments?
distracting.
Yeah.
I did it at the last one. It was,
Depends.
yeah.
Okay,
And
I mean, it
also like,
depends.
you're one
Sometimes
click
nobody-
away from like turning the sound on your video and then
I
it's
know,
like,
it's funny.
it's
Yeah,
disruptive.
we need to figure that out.
Mhm. What if there
Um,
was a volunteer who would just be the one to kind of monitor the Facebook comments?
I think it'd be one thing if a volunteer was just reading the Facebook comments aloud. I
Yeah.
would not want to entrust anyone with answering.
No, you're right, you're right. Not answering, but just monitoring that.
Yeah,
So that in case there's some issue coming up and they say, okay, does the public have any comments? The Facebook monitor could say,
Yeah.
yes, we've had some comments and here they
Here's the
are.
Questions,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not respond, but just kind of monitor the comments.
like you do in Zoom webinars, like.
Yeah.
There's a question that came in, blah, blah, blah. I think that's a good idea.
yeah.
I mean, I'm usually at those meetings and I wouldn't mind.
There you
We
go.
have a
Facebook
volunteer.
Woo, woo.
Reader, comment.
And then
Person.
just write them down or whatever.
Yeah, I would just kind of keep an eye on
Mhm. And sometimes they're not nice, so
it. Yeah.
they could just, we could just.
Sometimes it can
Yeah,
be-
that's the other aspect. There are a lot of comments sometimes, and those comments don't get read.
Yeah.
I see them.
I've
Very,
seen them,
very
like,
aware
okay,
of them that
that-
they're there.
Yeah,
And
I have,
Yeah.
skate past them because they're not gonna assist
Yeah.
with somebody.
and I wouldn't read them.
I mean,
I would
here's
only
the
read
thing.
the general
Yeah.
comments.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about, we're gonna ignore it.
Well,
Like,
yeah, there's some personal issues with some of those individuals, so
I'm finding,
you'll enjoy. it.
I'm finding,
They may latch onto you next.
that's okay, they can come
They're
out.
fun. They're fun times. Good people, good people, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so we could ask for participant, i.e. Kevin potentially, if he is available and willing, to
No problem.
read, monitor.
It's one thing if we go back to fully virtual,
Much easier.
it's easy, I mean, you're already staring at
I
a
can have two
screen.
screens of that.
It's another thing if you're like,
Yeah.
someone's presenting a zoning application and you're
I'm
also.
trying to, yeah, it's kind of a
Sounds like we might go virtual now, so.
Really?
Okay,
We
We are
we're
ready. We're-
allowed to.
we
now.
could have today, but I screwed up because I didn't see that
Okay.
we had the right time.
I know that.
We already, yeah, they sent out an email this today, actually, that said that HB something or other was passed, and unless it's until June 22nd of this year, I think it was.
Yeah,
so
it's
we can
very,
do
very
virtual.
temporary.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
hopefully we're behind the worst of COVID, right?
I think,
And
Is this
and
good?
let this go. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
I know this is.
Mine too.
Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Facebook. Okay, so messages would be commission secretary and community relations chairs respond within 48 hours. If outside of SLA, then others feel free to respond. And I think there should also be a caveat to that as well, that when responding, you put your name at the end of the response as a rule. Because it can
Oh, yeah.
get confusing as to who
Yeah, it
responded.
is a little
That's a good
confusing
point.
when I've seen it in, like, before I was on the
Like-
commission, like, I'm like, oh, they just entered that.
Yeah, like typically I'll do like a dash Josh or something just so they
Yeah.
know who it is.
But on the other hand, we're supposed to be one body. So then the
Yeah.
response is a response, right? It's really not an individual.
I think you can't, I mean,
You
from
can, as an
our
admin,
side,
you can.
we
yes.
can see who
Yes.
responded.
Yes,
I think if it's, I mean, it makes it easier if there's only like 3 people answering questions. It's just like, if this is anything besides like a strictly factual statement, like, put your name on it.
yes.
That'll make them make sure it's factual.
If it's anything besides just like, you know, something that can easily be Googled, like, when is your meeting? They're asking like, what are some cool organizations to volunteer for? And you just like list your favorite, like, maybe put a name on it, so.
Yeah, right.
We get, you know, a little bit of everything. Or if there's like advice, or if there's any kind of follow-up,
Necessary, yeah.
you know, it's nice to have a name.
So basically add names to responses when something other than factual follow-up necessary. If there's follow-up necessary. So, uh, I think for right now, that gives me something we can start building out on. Are there other pain points you guys can think of that we should focus on first?
Transitions. Since we,
That's government legislation.
no, I'm specifically the like,
Oh, yeah, yep, I
like
got you. Yep,
access to
yep, yep,
Google
yep, yep, yep,
Drive,
yep, yep,
access to,
yep, 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 yep.
What do you mean transitions, like whoever held it? and
Yeah,
then
if there
how do you
are-
do it?
yeah, so. Yeah, like, if-
How do we change passwords? How do you, like, the secretary email, for example? It may be a good idea to have each committee has a general email inbox,
Oh.
community relations inbox, whatever. And so if that were the case, how do you give access to the next successor? We don't want to create a findable form because everything's fully requestable. So how do you do that staying in the realm of that? I don't really know. To be 100% honest, I was going to print out all the passwords and just hand them out to everybody. But that goes against everything that I know.
I
about
was getting ready to
security.
say.
And also it's now technically a FOIA requestable
Yes.
form, but
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah,
Created document.
have to figure that out. I don't know if there's a shared password vault that we could all get or what, but yes,
yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
Oh.
yeah, so like passing things over, but also like the list of things that new commissioners will need access to, like getting access to the Google Drive, getting access to what else is there? If we get constant contact up and running,
Yeah, so that Zoom,
Zoom,
Google.
Zoom account is still in Scott Stockman's name. Is that something we can change?
The email.
Yeah,
It's just his email, so yeah,
it's just, I mean, it's his login,
Yeah.
it's his email.
just password.
It's pretty generic. actually.
It is very strict password, but again, that would come with, it's more secure than the password to Restream, let me tell you that.
What's the password to restore?
Good try.
Can you write it down for us?
Yeah, so, okay, Google Drive, Zoom, Restream, just have it, what else do we have?
And constant contact's another thing, but I don't think
Everybody should have.
necessarily everyone needs to have access to
What is it?
the newsletter platform.
I agree, and it's the same with the, let me figure out website too, because website I don't have any control over. That's the city gave James and I control of that, I do believe, but we would need to be able to give other people access to that. I just don't know if they have like a seat license issue or something where it's like, only doing two, whatever, we'll figure it out. Okay, so follow up. Get out of here. It's longer than I thought it was gonna be, sorry. So with,
When you finish typing this up, can you send it to me and Jenny so we can incorporate it into our best practices document?
do you want the, not the meeting minutes?
No, just any of the details.
Okay, so need to work with Dan to figure out business card, counter card shenanigans,
I'll text him after I get home.
not a problem. Okay, I'm gonna reach out to the library to figure out dates, for library table. Thinking 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. shifts. And once we have the dates all together from farmer's market, you'll reach out to Christina and you'll reach out to Shelley,
Yes.
and then we'll get dates compiled and then you can create the Google form.
And Victoria's gonna check with Danny
Danny.
on our something.
Yep.
Yep, that is further down.
Am I good to make the Google Doc for the volunteers and post that this week?
Yeah, shoot it over to me and I'll put it on our website.
Cool. I can do that.
Okay, got that on. This week Google Doc for the community members as well. Check with Danny with Summer Jam. Keep us informed. And then welcome signs. I'm gonna submit a 311. Whoever wants to submit 311s, submit 311s, please.
I'll do one.
And then Victoria will, we'll have her continue to work through that, but we'll need to get a general idea of this. Can you reach out and figure out what the size of the sign for the Summer Jam West Coast? Thank you. Okay, let's reach out about size of. Okay, and then consistency standards, I'm gonna put together a basis, kind of a document around some of the best practices that we have currently. We'll have what would we want new commissioners to have. We'll run that through government and legislation. And then we can put all of this kind of together into a big cumulative document. And yeah, I've got all this stuff that we've talked about for SLAs and that kind of stuff written out here. So I'll save this as a meeting minute document, send it out. And that'll be something else that I want to talk about also at some point, SLAs around when do agendas go out prior to meetings, week prior to, or something like that. When should meeting minutes go out, those kind of things. So,
Should definitely be next.
correct. Okay. Anything else that I'm missing right now?
No.
All right, awesome. We're going to go